Hi guys. So me and Abby have just been pondering. So Abby Bump has stopped sugar for how long?
So I started on the 1st of May basically I just started by cutting out sugary foods. So the foods that we typically think are sweet. So desserts, cakes, biscuits, anything that basically has added refined sugar to it, I cut out from my diet. So that meant I was still eating fruit, honey and getting sugar from natural sources, but basically not eating refined sugars.
Yeah. And then like today I was really craving sugar, like super, like since I come back from Greece, because when I was in Greece I was eating so much sugar, like just so much. I came back and Abby was doing this like no sugar thing, so I was kind of like, okay, let me just join. And I would say the first couple of days I would wake up like shaking, like that's how bad it was. And then I was fine for a couple of days, but also I have like this bad habit of not eating all day, and then would just grab the cheapest thing, easiest thing that would give me like quick energy. And that would be like a chocolate bar or like something unhealthy. And so I was like, Abs, I really just need some sugar, like let's go and get some biscuits. And normally like one of us would crack, like, okay, let's just give in kind of thing. And then Abby went and got like these. So there's a chocolate brownie from Deliciously Ella, which I've heard about her. She's like awesome woman that does like really like clean eating, because she's got like, I think like problems with her digestive system or something like that. She writes it in one of her books. I'm just like, and then Abby told me how much she paid for these. So these are two brownies.
2 brownies in here.
And these are 2 cookies in here.
No, 4.
4 cookies in here. And both of them was cost together £6. I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot. Like, just to get a quick sugar fix, that's a lot. And like, just thinking like, why is it, like, we have an issue with obesity, like in England and other places probably as well. And like, why something that is so, like, this is plant-based, it tastes so good, like so nice, why is it being like taxed or
it's just
priced?
So expensive? And the thing is, like, obesity, people think of obesity as a thing in itself, but actually it's not just obesity that's the problem, it's what obesity leads to and all the other diseases that are related to obesity. And I think people just don't see it as much of a problem, because all the food that's readily available to us is the cheap stuff and it's the sugary food, and yet these more healthier substitutes are costing £3. And let's be realistic, if you've got a family to feed, you can't afford to buy 2 brownies for £3.
No,
you would buy a whole pack for £1.
like, especially if you're living on like benefits or like living below the poverty line, I don't really know, just like if you can't afford to get like proper meals, like fruit and vegetables can be really expensive. Like, it's easier just to get like bag of crisps, like all of those things, instead of like actually feeding your kids well. And then it becomes this whole like cycle of like, because that you're not educated, like if you're not educated how to eat properly, then that filters down to your kids, which then this just builds this whole kind of like, what would you call it? A cycle, unhealthy eating cycle, basically. But I think it's so bad of the government that, like, especially like the strain it has on the NHS, that have all these like people coming with all these problems, issues. Majority of it is down to like health, what you eat, how you treat your body. And I'm not saying that I'm the best person at it, because 2 weeks ago I was in Greece eating waffle bites on the daily. But just the fact that like it's abominable. I think actually it's abominable that people can't afford to buy good, decent, like you have to be middle class or rich. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, or like rich to eat 2 brownies that costs you £3. It should be the other way around. And
it's like when we went to the cinema, everyone wants snacks in the cinema, but we wanted snacks without sugar. So we went to Boots because most shops don't stock this kind of food.
Yeah.
And we found some cookies which were like gluten-free, vegan, and sugar-free. So basically the same kind of thing, plant-based. And they were £3.50
for
a pack of cookies.
But there was not a lot of them. You couldn't feed your whole family on these.
2 people.
2 people max, and that's it. And I don't know how you guys think about like what you guys, and even just church as well. Like, just talking about it just makes me annoyed at the fact that, like, you know, like, I don't mean to be rude, but like as church people, we come like a lot of there's a lot of health issues, and that's not all like just down to health maybe or what we eat, but like if we're handing out biscuits, cakes, like all of these, and then we're praying to God to like help me with this, when actually he's given us the provision in a way to like
like health and healing issues, like there's so much behind that, and there can be so many different causes. It could be spiritual things, emotional things, etc. But it's the fact that we're not helping ourselves, and in fact we're doing the opposite. And I think it tells us in the Bible our body's a temple, and like we pray, God make me holy, but do not think that being holy is treating your body like a temple. And so it's the stuff that almost we've ignored it, I think.
Because it's not drugs, it's not sex, or it's not alcohol, basically.
And it's really hard because it's been ingrained in us all of our life. But it's like there needs to be changes, basically. And what we want is, this sounds optimistic, but we want this something to change on a governmental level. Because not being funny, but we can't just say, oh yeah, guys, you shouldn't eat sugar, and then show you these. And we were like, even to make these, coconut sugar is expensive. Gluten-free oat flour, like people can't afford this on a day-to-day basis. So why are the government not subsidising things like this and making sugary products more expensive?
Yeah.
It's just unfair. It's unfair.
Shocking.
We want to see something happen.
I want to see something. Let us know what you think about this thing.
If anyone can help us
to like who
do something about this,
because honestly I'm vexed. £3 £3 I've just paid, and
to get that and some raspberries and some natural yogurt cost me nearly £10.
Oh Lord have mercy. No, honestly. And like as students, we need to be eating well, doing things well, like whatever. But how can we do that when we're living on student loan, and then
and it affects your studying as well. It affects your mind so much, what you eat. Like, we need to be fueling ourselves throughout the day, but fueling ourselves with good fuel, and not just using sugar as like a quick, give me some energy kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is not about losing weight or anything like this.
No.
This is about like eating properly, feeding your family the food that the food that they need. Like, these are your kids. These and they deserve more than that Snickers bar or like the fact, and it's not your fault. It's literally not your fault.
And I feel like so many people do it. As a majority, like, you do know, I'm sure all of us, we know people were like, oh yeah, they're really healthy, and it will just be like that individual or that family, when this should be something that is a way that all of us live
a culture.
And for us, like, we don't want to sound like we know what we're doing, because we're basically just starting out on this, and we've kind of recently realised the impact that food is having on our day-to-day lives.
It's true.
And wanting to make a difference. Yeah.
I love sugar.
Yeah, we used to be so bad, like, literally, this is just kind of admitting our sins right now, but we would go to Tesco's, we would buy those big cookies, the chocolate ones,
brownies.
We would eat them so often.
Chocolate milk. We would go to church, indulge in sin in church.
Basically. But then, to be honest, this, to me, tastes just as good, if not better, because it doesn't make you feel sick afterwards.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well done, deliciously, Ella.
Well done, but
But
how can we make this available for everyone?
how do you
And
make
as
this
well,
available deliciously,
they have
Ella?
like a whole freezer aisle in Tesco's. The only 2 options were these 2 things. Like that was the only
Not on.
options.
Not on.
You could get strawberry cheesecakes, gatos, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
All full of sugar.
But there's just a
this is
little aisle.
our only 2 options.
Little cupboard in the space of nastiness.
Yeah.
Alright, bye-bye.
Yeah, we need to stop talking.